physicists. Today we're talking about a very important topic in physics. It's units. And so here I have a little definition for you that I'm going to put up on the board. So units are the way in which you measure a certain physical quantity. And you might be like, what's a physical quantity? Well, I also have a definition of that. A physical quantity is what you want to measure. And then units are how you measure that physical quantity. Now, that may not make a ton of sense yet, but I'm going to do a couple examples for you. So hopefully it'll make a little bit more sense in a second. So I'm just going to kind of move these definitions up to the top here. All right, so here's our example. So what if somebody asked you, how far do you live from school? So how far do you live from school? So somebody asks you, how far do you live from school? And if you look at this question, how far, that is the physical quantity. Physical quantity. And that physical quantity, we're talking about a distance. So we could answer it. So the answer might be 5 miles, right? That could be a typical how far you live from school. Personally, I live 8 miles from school. So I live 8 miles from school and I actually bike to school. So let's say you live 8 miles from school. Well, take a look. That miles, that is the unit. So what you want to measure, the how far, that's your distance. What you want to measure is your physical quantity. And how you measure it in miles is the unit, because you could also measure it in, what if we actually measured it, instead of miles, we measured it in kilometers. That would be your unit. And kilometers is a very different distance than miles. So 8 kilometers is actually much shorter, much closer than 8 miles. So it's very important that we say what our unit is when we're measuring. So I'm going to give you another example. All right. So what if I asked you, how long does it take you to get to school? How long does it take you? And I'm not going to add the to get to school because I ran out of room, but how long, that's the physical quantity. And that is it's asking for time. How long does it take you to get to school? Physical quantity. And that's time, right? And I might answer, so my personal answer is I ride my bike and it takes me approximately 45 minutes to get to school, right? And so that minute right there, that's my units. And again, what if I had said 45 hours? What if I had said 45 seconds? Those are all different quantities of time. So it's very important that we record our units. So here is an example of why. So let's say somebody is asking for directions and they want to know how far away Safeway is. You know, the store that's just like right around the block. Okay, so somebody is asking you, that's clearly an artistic rendition of you. I'm so good at art. So somebody's asking you, hey, how far away is Safeway? And what if you would actually pace this out and you measured it to be, I think it's maybe around 200 meters. And so you reply 200. But what if you left off the meters and you just said 200, right? So now the person who asked you how far away is Safeway, they're gonna be like, well, what did they mean by 200? That could mean 200 feet. So maybe they go out and they walk. This person's gonna walk 200 feet and they're gonna look around and they're gonna be like, where is Safeway? Where is it? They didn't get there if they only go 200 feet. What if the person assumed 200 miles? So they're gonna get in their car and they're gonna drive 200 miles. Gonna get in their car. I'm so good at drawing. That's clearly a car. I think I'm just making it worse. I'm just gonna label it car. They get in their car and they drive 200 miles and they wind up in, I think, Casper, Wyoming. And they're like, is this Safeway? Nope, it's not Safeway. What if they assumed instead of miles, if you just said 200, that could be 200 llamas, right? Like if you don't say a unit on there, it could be 200 llamas. So this person is going to go out and buy 200 llamas. That's clearly a llama. It needs to have a longer neck, doesn't it? Ooh. Okay, nobody show this video to Miss Ancona. She would not be happy with me right now. I'm not very educated in art. All right, that's clearly a llama. So this person went out and bought 200 llamas to get to Safeway. All right, all of my terrible drawing aside, this is what you need to know. Units are important. Units tell us the way in which we measured. 200 meters is very different from 200 miles, which is very different from 200 feet. So units are really important. They're going to tell us how we measured a certain physical quantity so that we are all comparing the same thing, so that nobody goes out and buys 200 llamas to get to Safeway. That's the moral of the story. Good luck, physicists. You are awesome.